Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt the presence of someone powerful without them even speaking? Some people don't need to talk. They don't need to demand respect. The moment they step in, the energy shifts. Conversations pause, eyes lock onto them. Their silence speaks louder than words. This isn't something you can buy. It's not something you can ask for. And most people will never have it. Respect isn't demanded. It's commanded through presence, energy, and unspoken dominance. Think about the most powerful figures in history: Julius Caesar, Napoleon, modern-day billionaires. They all have one thing in common: an undeniable aura of control. Imagine walking into a high-stakes business meeting. One person sits in silence, observing, while others scramble to speak first. Who do you think holds the real power? So what's their secret? How do you make people respect you without saying a word? In this video, you'll learn 7 psychological tactics to command instant respect and dominate any room just with your presence. Let the game begin. The power of silent dominance. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to think, to second-guess themselves, to fill the void with unnecessary words. And that's exactly why it's powerful. Most people can't handle silence. They rush to speak, to justify, to explain. But those who understand power know this: the more you talk, the weaker you appear. The more you observe, the more powerful you become. Think about the most respected figures in history. They don't rush to fill the silence. They let others talk first. They make people wait. And when they do speak, every word carries weight. Julius Caesar didn't dominate Rome by talking over people. He made them speak first, revealing their thoughts, their fears, their weaknesses, while he remained unreadable. Modern-day leaders do the same. CEOs, military strategists, high-stakes negotiators, they know silence is a weapon. Why? Because silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to pay attention. Want proof? Try this. Next time someone asks you a question, pause for 3 seconds before answering. Most people can't handle that kind of silence. They'll either start talking more, revealing more than they intended, or they'll wait, suddenly aware of your control over the conversation. Master silence, and you master power. Try this today. Pause before responding and watch how people react. But silence alone isn't enough. There's another silent weapon, one even more powerful: eye contact. The art of eye contact. Your eyes say more than your words ever could. Control them, and you control the room. The science behind dominant eye contact. In nature, predators lock eyes with their prey. In human psychology, the same principle applies. When you hold eye contact without hesitation, it signals confidence, control, and dominance. When you break it too soon, it signals weakness. The key is controlled intensity. Hold eye contact too long, and you come off as aggressive. Break it too soon, and you lose presence. The balance is everything. Think of the most powerful people in history. Presidents, CEOs, military leaders, none of them dart their eyes around the room. Their gaze is deliberate. Their focus is sharp. They don't fidget. They don't look down. They make the other person feel seen, but never fully comfortable. Want to master this? Use the 3-second rule. When meeting someone, hold eye contact for exactly 3 seconds. Break it briefly, then re-engage. If they look away first, you've already won the interaction. In group settings, shift your gaze strategically. Hold eye contact with the person speaking, then slowly scan the room. This makes you look in control, without appearing confrontational. Master your gaze, and people will feel your presence without you saying a word. Eye contact is only part of the equation. What about the way you move? Your posture? Your presence? Let's talk about body language. Posture and movement. Walk like a king. Power isn't just about what you say, it's about how you move, how you stand, how you take up space. Your posture tells the world exactly who you are before you ever speak a word. Stand tall, shoulders relaxed but firm, chin slightly lifted. Move with control. Every motion should be deliberate. Think about a king walking into a room. He doesn't rush. He doesn't fidget. His movements are slow, measured, effortless, because he owns the space. Now think about someone nervous. They shift their weight. Their eyes dart around. Their movements are quick, uneasy, restless. Their body betrays their lack of confidence before they even open their mouth. Here's the rule. Slow movements signal control. Rushed movements signal insecurity. The more stillness and control you have over your body, the more dominant you appear. And it's not just about standing. Watch how powerful leaders sit. Back straight, shoulders squared, hands still. The way you sit tells people how much control you have. This is why warriors, politicians, and military leaders all move with purpose. They never shrink themselves. They never hesitate. They take up space, not in an arrogant way, but in a way that commands attention. Try this right now. The stillness drill. For the next 60 seconds, stand completely still. No shifting, no fidgeting, no unnecessary movement, just stillness. Most people can't do it. Their body naturally fights against control. But if you can, you've already separated yourself from the majority. Posture changes perception, but posture alone isn't enough. Now, let's talk about the power of measured speech. Speak less, command more. Most people talk too much. They explain, justify, overshare, giving away more than they should. But those who truly understand power know this. The more words you use, the more power you give away. Look at history's most powerful figures. Julius Caesar. 3 words. Veni, vidi, vici. Napoleon issued commands in the shortest, clearest phrases possible. Steve Jobs built Apple not just on minimalistic design, but on minimalistic speech. They didn't waste words. They didn't over-explain. They said what mattered, then stopped talking. Why does this work? Because people respect certainty, and certainty isn't found in long-winded explanations. It's found in short, decisive statements. Want to prove it? Ever notice how top negotiators rarely speak first? They let the other side talk, reveal information, and make the first mistake. Try this next time you're negotiating. Say less, listen more, and watch how the balance shifts in your favor. Try this right now. The one-sentence rule. Next time you respond to someone, say what you need to say in 10 words or less. If you can't, you're talking too much. Speak less. Move with purpose. But there's one more layer to this. Your facial expressions. Let's break it down. The power of controlled expressions. Your face reveals more than your words ever could. Every slight movement, an eyebrow raise, a nervous smile, a twitch, gives people insight into your emotions. And if they can read you, they can control you. Powerful people don't let that happen. They understand one thing. A neutral face equals emotional control, equals psychological strength. Why does this work? Because when people can't read you, they can't manipulate you, They don't know if you're angry, amused, or indifferent. They start second-guessing themselves, and that puts you in control. Look at poker players, high-stakes negotiators, world leaders. They don't flinch, they don't react. They let silence, posture, and presence do the talking. But here's the trick. A full smile is friendly. A frown is weakness. But a smirk is powerful. It's unreadable. It forces people to question what you're thinking. How do you respond to insults without looking weak? You don't flinch, you don't frown, you don't react emotionally. Instead, pause. Let the moment stretch. Then smirk, nod slightly, and move on. No reaction is the most powerful reaction. The pause, process, react method. When someone tries to provoke you, pause. Process. Is this even worth your time? React only if it benefits you, and always on your terms. Master this, and no one will ever push your buttons again. A subtle head tilt, a slow blink, or a slight exhale, these are the only expressions you need to show you're in control without giving away your emotions. Facial expressions are one thing, but nothing is more powerful than strategic silence. Let's break it down. The secret of strategic silence. Most people can't handle silence. It makes them nervous, insecure, desperate to fill the void. And that's exactly why it's so powerful. Why does silence work? Because it creates uncertainty. It makes people second-guess themselves. It forces them to overthink, reveal more, and seek validation. Powerful people use silence as a weapon. Think about FBI interrogators. They don't hammer suspects with words. They ask a question, then go silent. They let the tension build, and eventually people break under that silence. You can use this in your own life. When someone asks you something, don't rush to respond. Hold eye contact. Let them feel the weight of the moment. Watch as they start to fidget, to fill the space, to reveal more than they intended. Exercise. The 5-second rule. The next time someone asks you a question, pause for 5 seconds before answering. Maintain eye contact. Let the silence stretch. Watch how they react. Most people will start talking again just to break the tension, and that's when you know you're the one in control. In high-pressure sales, silence forces the other person to justify their offer. The longer you wait, the more likely they'll lower their price or offer a better deal. Now that you understand the power of silence, let's bring everything together and talk about commanding presence. Final psychological trick: presence over words. Respect isn't something you ask for. It's not about status, money, or forcing people to listen. Respect is about perception. Think about the most powerful people in history: Julius Caesar, Napoleon, world leaders, modern-day billionaires. What do they all have in common? They don't beg for attention. They don't demand respect. They command it without saying a word. Why does this work? Because when you master the unspoken rules of dominance, silence, body language, controlled expressions, strategic pauses, people have no choice but to respect you. Most people chase validation. They over-explain. They try too hard, but true power doesn't beg. It exists. It is felt. Here's what you now know. Silence creates control. Stillness commands attention. Speaking less makes your words hit harder. Eye contact forces people to acknowledge your presence. Emotional control makes you untouchable. Power isn't about how much you say. It's about how much you make others feel. You now have the blueprint, but real power comes from action. Comment below. Which tactic will you master first, and why? You now have the blueprint. The question is, will you use it? Drop a comment and tell me which tactic you'll master first.